Today, I'm going to take you through the basic features and functions that are available through the inventory tracking app for Catalyst Sprayfoam. First things first, when you show up on the web page, you will see a login box. To start off, you will be given one administrator login, which can be found in the documentation. Logging in with this, you'll be brought to the owner overview page. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is create inventory locations and items so that we can track and actually create jobs and checklists. First off, we'll create a location. We'll call this one warehouse, if I could spell. And we'll create another one. We'll just call it truck 1. Now let's create some items. On truck 1, we can edit the inventory items and add an item. Here, let's say we create a hammer, item type tool, and then now we can set the quantity that's on the truck over here. We can also set an alert level. The use of this is if track usage is turned on, whenever this item dips below the alert level, you will see an alert on the front page notifying you that you should get more. Now we have 10 hammers here. Let's create another item. Here we'll make boots. You can choose a different item type this time, PPE. Type in a description. And we'll set this again to 10, alert when below 5, track usage. Now our truck has 10 hammers and 10 pairs of boots. We go back, and our warehouse, unfortunately, has nothing. Now you could repeat this for every location, or if you feel like moving some boots from, say, the truck to the warehouse, you can just do this. Transfer. Select truck as your from location, and let's transfer 2 pairs of boots back over to the warehouse here. So now we've transferred 2 pairs, and once you hit save, you'll see that the truck now only has 8 pairs of boots, and the warehouse now has 2. Now that we have some items, let's create a job and some checklists. So now we can create a job, so we'll just say home renovation. Put an address for reference here, 123 Any Street, and the start and the end date can be set here. The end date of the project determines of the job determines whether or not it will show up under your current jobs or under your historical jobs. You can also add comments for your workers to know if any special considerations need to be taken. Bring hearing protection, for instance. Now that we have a job, we can open it up, and it has no checklist to display, but now we can add a checklist. So for this checklist, we'll call it the first day checklist. And it'll be for the truck, and save. Now we have a checklist for people to check over. Unfortunately, it has no items, so now we can add items to it. So for this job, we're going to say that you need 1 hammer, both before and after the job, and 1 pair of boots, again, both before and after the job. Now that our checklist is made, we can see that we can check the items here. In the future, if this is a very common list to make, we can save this checklist as a template. This will allow us to reuse this list more easily the next time we need a checklist. So coming back here, if we wanted to create a second checklist, we can now create from template, select our common list, and save. And now we have another list that has been duplicated from the previous one. Now that we have a checklist against a job, we can create a worker that is going to use this checklist. So here, let's make a fellow named Bob. We'll give him a password to log in with, and then we don't need contact info for now, so we'll just save this. Now that Bob is here, we can log out, and let's say Bob is now on his way to the job. He shows up, and now he has to log in to see what's available. Once Bob logs in, he sees a list of jobs, and he can select it. From here, he can select a checklist as well. If he wants to view job details, such as the address, he simply clicks here, and he can see any details that have been left for him to see. Opening up the checklist, he sees the items that are on it, and before he starts working, he can check off this list. Let's say Bob sees the hammer, he can check it, and someone else can verify it, and he'll save it. But let's say a pair of boots was missing from this. He can now leave a note. No boots found on the truck. Save the note. Now he works, finishes working, and now at the end of the day he brings back the hammer. He can check and verify it. Save. And let's say that the engine has gone through 500 strokes. Now that he's done all this, let's say he found out that the hammer's handle was broken and he has to get rid of it. So now he can update the inventory, and since a pair of boots was missing and gone as well, he can update it to say that one hammer was used and one pair of boots was used. Now he's done, he can log out, and from the owner's side, when he next checks in, he'll type in his password and log in, and he sees 1. An invalid checklist, and 2. An inventory alert. Earlier on, we had only transferred 2 pairs of boots to the warehouse, which is below the alert level, which is why it's showing up here. As for the invalid checklist, because Bob had only checked off the hammer and not the boots, it was not properly filled out. So now we can click to take a look, and we scroll down, we see that the hammer has been verified, and the boots are still pending. If we might wonder why this is, we can click on the notes and see that Bob has left a note explaining that no boots were found on the truck. In addition, we see that 500 strokes were used for that day. This demonstrates most of the key functionality that is found in the inventory tracking system.